Okay, video 4 of the off-season cart build. Today we're going to install the rear axle and all the hardware with the wheel bearings, your sprocket hub, your brake rotor, your bearing holders, and the hubs. So I'll get to it. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the notification button, because I'm going to keep on doing videos for this off season. And if you have any tips, any pro tips, throw them in the comments below so everybody can get help. All right, so first what I'm going to do, I got the rear axle, and first thing I like to do is slide on the brake rotor hub. You don't need any like crazy measurements right yet, because you're not going to tighten anything up until you get your brake rotor on and your hub on, and you can line everything up. Then what I do is I slide on the sprocket hub, and I like to put it on, like, you see how this is like the long part of the hub? I like to slide it on this way. That way I can put the studs through here, so when I got to change the sprocket, I can just take off the nuts on this side and put the new sprocket on, so I don't have to so I can just take my gun and zap it. Took me a while to figure that out. Alright, so then you slide that on this side. Alright. Now, what I like to do is install the bearings into the hub. There's tons of different bearing hubs around. You have this style that you can separate, and then you put the bearing in, and then you tighten it down. You got like this style. This is the style I use, where you put the bearing in, you turn it, and then it locks itself in place. Same with that one. I'm pretty sure these are more common. This one is the left rear, is an adjustable, so when you want to adjust your cart at the track, you can adjust the jacking bolt. Rage has this one where you can turn it if you want to give your axle lead. I'm not like super familiar with that yet, so what I'll do is I'll start out with this one. So I take my low drag bearing, and I also like to have this long part on the inside. See how that's on that bearing, it's longer and that's shorter? I like to have the long part on the inside so I can get to those set screws. So all you want to do, you have these little grooves in there. I hope you can see it. You take your bearing, slide it in that groove, and you just turn. Camera. Yeah, super easy. All right, so you just turn the bearing in. There we go. All right, so that bearing's locked in place. I put it in at an angle, and I turned it. So now what I want to do, slide this bearing. You have the flat part that's got to go up against the chassis. You got the long part of the bearing, like I said, that I like on the inside. So you slide that in. Now on the other side, same deal. It's going to go against the chassis, the flat side against the chassis. So I'm going to take the bearing, slide it in the groove, turn it. See how it turns? Boom. So that's locked in now. I got my long side of the bearing on the inside. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick up the axle, slide, tight. There you go. Slide this has an arrow for the top, which is going to be square. All right, so now that I have my brake rotor right here, because this is where the caliper goes, I got my hub right here. Both the bearing hubs on. Like I said, nothing's measured because you're going to want to measure it after anyway. That will adjust your ride height. If you ever want to change that, you know, higher or lower, you just take the bolts out, and then you can move the axle up. All right, so I'm just going to put it on the middle. And once these are all on, you can move your axle back and forth to wherever you want it. That's why I keep everything loose. See how that moves? All right, so now I got this side. Put that straight up. The bolts go through the chassis side when you do this. All right, so now that your axle's in and stationary, you can move it around like I said. I take your bearing hub and just slide your bearing hub on the outside. I'm sorry, that your wheel hub, not your bearing hub. That just slides in on the outside. Same on the other side. Okay. And you have these axle collars. This line, there's a line right here. Right there. Your not cotter pin, your keyway will go in that groove. Right there. See the groove on that sprocket hub? You have to line that groove. You have to line the groove on all this stuff with the groove on the axle, and then you slide a keyway. All right, so then I take these, and you want to put these on your axle as well. Say like you don't want your hub to push in as you're going around the track. Right there. So you tighten up those two Allen heads. Wherever you find your wheel, where you want your wheel, butt that right up against it. Those two also have a groove for the keyway. That way everything just lines up. Your wheel bearings don't have a groove for your keyway. Those have just you have a little Allen head set screw that goes in that just to lock those down. Sprocket hub has two Allen heads with the groove that slides in there with the keyway. Same with your brake, but I can't. Oh, right there. Right there. There's your little groove on the brake one. That's got to line up with that. Yeah, that's it. Use multiple of these. Anywhere where you feel like something will move, you could put them. I usually put one definitely on each side of the brake once you get that adjusted. I mean, you can put one right there, but wherever you want. They're cheap. They're not going to slow you down. That's it. Yeah, I just got to put my wheel studs in, and it's square. It's free spinning with the low drag bearings, and that's about it. Okay, my next video, I'll probably do the steering shaft. Do me a favor, like this video. That way YouTube shares it with others, and we can gain some knowledge here from everybody. All right, thanks for watching.